Hello everyone, I am Dr. Khemra Sahu, working as an assistant professor in SIT College of Engineering, Yatro, Karachi. Today we have to discuss the basics of automation and robotics. Means what are the basic component of automation, what are the basic component of robotics and its type. So that are the outlines, concept and scope of automation, types of automation, socio-economic impact of automation, introduction to robotics, classification of robots, robot specifications. So automation means we have to perform the process or any operation by automatically without human any interfere or interference. Means the process is fully automatic. So it is implemented by the setup program. We are using some setup instruction or setup program to run the process. So basically the power is required to run the both process and the program of instruction and the control system. So that are the concept of automation. So first one is power. So power is required to run the program instruction, to run the control system and to run the process. So second one is the program of instruction. So program of instruction is set of sequence of program or sequence of process. So that can be implemented in any machines. So by using that program, we have to run the process. Third one is the control system. So control system monitor the process, and sometimes we can vary or we can control the process if it can vary or if means we have to monitor by using the control system. And last one is process. So process is the actual process performed by the machines. Sometimes it can be manufacturing, sometimes it can be welding, sometimes it can be machining. Means different type of process we can use. And last one is the output. So the program of instruction can be executed by control system, which can be divided in closed loop system and open loop system. In closed loop system, we are using some feedback sensor device to monitor the output of the process. So suppose if you want to if you want to change the output, or we have to make some changes. So in closed loop system we have to facilitate we have to monitor their output, and accordingly we have to change their value. In open loop system there is no feedback device, so we cannot control the output. Means the machine put the same output without throughout their process. Means we cannot change their process or we cannot change their output. Scope of automation. So automation scope is very wide, so it can be basically used in manufacturing sector, service sector, aerospace and defense, and our everyday life. In case of manufacturing system, we nowadays automobile sector, electronic sector, chemical industries, and almost all those industries is fully automatic. Means all those process perform automatically. In case of service sector, now healthcare sector, in healthcare sector there is different X-ray machine, different blood testing machine, MRI, CT scan. So all those devices is example of automation. Logistic and banking. In case of banking, nowadays we are using some mobile banking. Sometimes we are using some ATM machines. So that will make better. Aerospace and defense. Different drones, the robotic arms used in aerospace and defense sector to make more reliable and more fast performance. Our everyday life. Nowadays we are having some smart homes. In smart homes, automated vehicle. Once we have to set the navigation, then our car reach to the destination location. So automation is the change our life and our living style. Types of automation. So automation can be divided in three different categories: fixed automation, programmable automation, and flexible automation. In fixed automation, the process is fixed. Means the machine produce same product again and again. Means it can be used for mass production. we cannot change their program, or we cannot change their any sequence. Once we have to set the program, it can run throughout their service life. Second one is the programmable automation. So in programmable automation, we can change or we can modify after the completion of the job, or in between the process. So we have to so we have some flexibility to change the program, or we have to modify the program. So it can be used for more medium volume production. Okay, so it is better for batch production. And last one is the flexible automation. So flexible automation is the extension of programmable automation by enabling rapid setup and program. In case of programmable automation, we need to some time loss to set the program, and again we have to set the machine tools and some other parameters. But in case of flexible automation, we can change over all those things in very short of time. Means we have to, there is a very less time of very less loss of production. So it has high flexibility and low change over time. So it can be so their example is CNC machines. Socio-economic impacts. So automation having the both positive and negative impact on the our social life. In case of suppose we have to discuss the positive impact. So by using automation, our productivity is increased. We have to create new technical jobs. There is a reduced means by using automation the error is very reduced, and we have to improve the quality and safety of the human being. There is some negative impact also. There is due to automation there is a job replacement, skill mismatch, and inequality. So their solution is upskilling and policy planning. Means we have to skill our operator time to time, and means we have to teach about the new machines, new technology, and we have to make some policy to means adopting of automation. Introduction to robotics. So robotics is the branch of technology that deals with the design, construction, operation, and application of robots. Means suppose if you want to do any design construction, or we have to manufacture any robot, so it comes into robotics. Then a robot. So robot is a programmable multifunctional manipulator designed to move material, parts, tool, and specialized devices through variable program motion for performance of variety of tasks. Okay, so robot is the programmable manipulator to perform many different tasks. Basically, it can be used in a very hazardous place, and sometimes we are using robot for very accuracy. Okay, so it can be reprogrammable. Once we have to change the program, so accordingly robot perform the task. So basically the basic component of robot is sensor, actuator, control system, and power supply. So sensor senses our environment of the robot. Actuator perform the actual task, and control system means control the motion of the manipulator, and power supply is required to run the both control system, actuator, and power system, and the device and the power and the control system. Application. So it can widely used in manufacturing sectors such as welding, car assembly. And in case of medical field, we are using some surgical robot. In case of defense, we are using different drones. Sometimes we have to need space exploration such as Mars, Moon, and other service industries. So the classification of robots. So first is so we can classify robot according to their geometry. So it can be so based on the geometry we have to classify robot on the 5 different configuration. First one is the Cartesian configuration: cylindrical, spherical, articulated, and scalar. So in Cartesian coordinate robot there is only linear motion in all 3 axes, and so it can be used for precise pick and place operations. In case of cylindrical coordinate robot, it having one rotational motion and two linear motion. In case of spherical coordinate robot or spherical configuration, so it having the two rotary motion and one spherical motion. Uh, the fourth one is the articulated. Articulated, sometimes it will known as jointed arm robot. So it having all joint having the rotary joint. And last one is the SCARA. So SCARA means selective compliance assembly robot. So it having the three rotary motion and one linear motion. So basically it can be used sometimes vertical or horizontal pick and place operations. Sometimes it can be used for drilling process. Second is the classification by path movement. So we can classify the robot based on their path movement. So first one is the point to point robot and second is the continuous path. So in point to point motion, the robot manipulator moves into the fixed point. So it can be utilized for spot welding, pick and place operation, drilling process. In case of continuous path, the robot manipulator follow the trajectory. So it can be used for painting process, grinding process. Sometimes it can be used for machining process. Classification by control. So we can control the robot by three different techniques: manual control, automatic control, and autonomous. So in manual control, human control the robot motion. Automatic control system with the pre-program operation control the robot motion, and autonomous control. So the perform task independently. A robot component. So basically the robot there is four basic component of the robot: manipulator, end effector, sensor, and controller. So manipulator consists of robot arm object. End effector consists of sometimes using some gripper, sometimes using good tools. Sensor, we are using different sensor. Sometimes we are using vision sensor, touch sensor, proximity sensor to sense the robot environment. And last one is the controller. So controller execute the command. It will be sometimes PLC circuit to execute the program of instruction. Robot specification. So payload. So it is the maximum weight of the robot that can carry or manipulate, including the end effector and the workplace. So their unit is kilogram. Second is the reach means robot the distance robot arm can travel. So a robot reach defined the maximum distance its arm can extend from the base. Their unit is millimeter to meter. Speed, the maximum velocity at which robot joints or end effector can move. Accuracy, the accuracy is the ability of robot to reach the command position precisely. It indicates how close the robot actual position is to the desired one. Okay, means it is the very important term for the robot, means how robot can accurate to reach the actual position to the desired position. And now last one is degree of freedom. So degree of freedom is the independent movement of the robot arm or robot axis. Okay, is joined at 1 degree of freedom. Yeah, that are the references used in the PPT. Okay, thank you.